Old age. It's the same everywhere. You have all the time in the world, but only so much of that time left. In China, retirement used to look like this. Old men taking their birds for a walk, or meeting in the park to sing arias from a Chinese opera. Some traditions don't change, and many still practice Tai Chi. But how one spends one's retirement in modern-day China has come a long way, and it has had to. 16.7% of its population is now 60 or older, 60 being the retirement age for men. And thanks to constantly improving healthcare, life expectancy continues to rise here. So, with a long and healthy retirement to look forward to, most pensioners in China are no longer passive. They're active, just like Mr. Sheng Dehua here. He's not long retired from his 30-year career as a driver. After 1 hour of Tai Chi, it's straight onto ping pong. This is not for competition, only for fun. All the same, Mr. Sheng says he normally wins. But it's not just about the exercise. Many Chinese pensioners now have the funds, allowing them to travel further and take up new hobbies that they couldn't afford before. Mr. Sheng is a keen photographer, and he takes it much more seriously than the cliched phone on a selfie stick. Today, he's learning about the theory of documentary photography. His course lasts 8 months, and Mr. Sheng has been able to fund both the tuition fees as well as his camera equipment. He'll get a certificate when the course ends, but he's looking to get much more from it than that.
I plan to go abroad. My daughter is living in New Zealand. I plan to go there next year. It will enrich my life as a senior citizen.
And that brings us round to a major factor determining retirement plans in modern-day China. Even under the one-child policy, it had become practically tradition to expect a grandchild and to focus much of one's retirement caring for that grandchild. But changes in the lifestyle of the younger generation have led to many more Chinese people having children later and later, if not at all, which in turn brings uncertainty to many would-be grandparents.
We want a grandchild, but we can't change the opinions of the younger generation. They have their own plans for their careers, and grandchildren have to be postponed, and don't want to interfere with my daughter's affairs. What will be, will be. Today's retirees are much better off. The older generation went through a tough period when they were young, so when they got old, they were in poor physical health. Since then, people's living standards have gone up. I exercise firstly because if you're in good health, your quality of life is better, and secondly, I can alleviate the burden on my daughter, and most importantly, also ease pressure on my country. If I keep my body strong, my country won't have to pay for me. That's why I do Tai Chi and ping pong every morning.
Mr. Sheng isn't representative of every Chinese pensioner, and the government has previously acknowledged that there is quite a big gap between the reality faced by some of the elderly and the happiness they were expecting in retirement. But that gap is closing. The government has issued a promise of 美好生活, which means a better life for all its people. And it seems clear that more and more of the elderly are already seeing that promise met. Yao Qin, CGTN, Beijing.